All right, welcome back to another episode of Muscle Maturity Podcast. We are at episode 75, if you can believe it. I'm here with 1983 Mr. Olympia Samir Bannout and Marcus Guerrero, and my name is John Hansen. And how's it going, guys?
Very good, very good. Just been traveling, and like they say, John, you get honey and you get onion. It's not always honey. So every time I travel through Dallas, John, I get stuck whenever I have connecting flight because I like to fly out of Burbank, which is about 12 minutes from my house. So I don't want to go to LAX.
Right.
Your ticket, you pay maybe $100, $150 more. But they say, okay, well, I'll wait in the airport for an hour. Big deal. But every time I land in Dallas, something goes wrong. I mean, ridiculous. But I'm rooting
Huge
for
airport,
them.
right?
They're playing in about an hour and a half. Dallas versus who? Again, Boston.
Yeah.
With all what they did to me in Dallas,
the final.
I'm pushing for Dallas. Now everything else is okay now, other than that. Big Marcus, what's up, buddy?
How much, man? How was Connecticut? How was Connecticut?
It was good.
Connecticut, right?
It was good. I trained when I was there. Hartford and Connecticut, yes. And I got a cousin also in New York. So we go in that area and hang out with some friends and stuff. So change the atmosphere a little bit here in Southern California. It was good. The weather was nice. It's really beautiful there. It was good.
Yeah, I'll bet.
So,
all right. Well, I guess we're going to talk about the Toronto Pro because we got that coming up this weekend and another big pro show. So it's got a pretty good lineup, a lot of competitors. So it looks like the top guys, Quinton is coming back after the New York Pro. And then we got Hassan. He's coming. I think this will be his first show of the year. Jon Jewett, who's a former 212 competitor, he's competing. He looks really good. And Akim Williams, who just was coming off that. I think it was at the Arnold, right? He was in fantastic shape there, so he's going in it. So let's talk about Quinton first. Samir, how do you think Quinton's going to do after he fired his coach, Matt Jansen? Because he said he came down too low for the New York Pro. He lost size. So now we can see the difference between, I guess, the picture on the left is from New York Pro, and the picture on the right with the gray shorts, that's how he looks now. So he definitely looks fuller. How do you think he's going to do, Samir?
First of all, I know he let you down because you were like putting him right up there.
I picked him.
But, I don't care who you are. If you come to the show and you're not 100%, I know he was flat. And what surprises me, his coach, Matt Jansen, he understands the game. He understands the peak and process. But I was surprised because he was, in my opinion, way, undersized. Jean, it seemed like he needed to fill up at least 7-8 pounds of reserve. So he was like, you went to a war with no bullet in your gun. His magazine was empty. So that's why I think he didn't do very well. So you and I know that the peaking part is the most important. And this is when you need a coach that understands the peaking process. And that's what separates the man from the boys. But I'm with you, Jean. I agreed with you last time, and he's dangerous. I think Quinton can go very, very far. I mean, he could go all the way to the top. But if he doesn't peak properly, you can forget about it. And this is the most important part of bodybuilding is peaking for a show properly. And I didn't think he'd do that. I don't know if I blame that on Matt Jansen because Matt is always have incredible track record. Something went wrong. We don't know exactly what it is, but we know he was flat. We know he let you down. He let me down a little bit too because I thought I was pulling with you that he will do great. But let's hope he will come in more prepared. Let's hope he'll be.
How do you think he looks now with those pictures?
Show me the
Like comparing
recent, the
those
most.
pictures.
I want to see the most recent photo, Jon. This way I could really. These two. I mean,
I
come
think
on.
the one on the right,
Come on. It's night and day. I
the one on
mean,
the right.
by far, he's by far better on the right because really the quality is almost identical, right, Marcus? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's like you
I
just see the
mean,
more pop, overall size. I think this is what we wanted to see. We saw him come in. He looked very, just honestly streaky compared to the rest of the lineup. And clearly it was just a peaking, issue. And I think that's probably why he left so quick. We don't know the behind the scenes, how it works, but like, I think
we don't
it
know.
has a
Maybe
lot to
there's
do with,
other reason.
something happened that, he just ended up not liking how it turned out clearly because it was like you can see from here if you compare this to how he looked 5 days out from the New York Pro, it's night and day difference. I mean, the chest is just popping, the arms look crazy, and as you said, he still is holding that same amount of conditioning. It looks like, I mean, even in the glutes, like looking at that, I would expect the conditioning to lessen up, and it clearly isn't. So I think he's going to do good.
Marcus,
Say it
I
again,
think
Samir.
it's not fun to have a coach where you have two guys competing at the same contest. And sometimes if let's say Quinton didn't do good, he may in his head suspect, oh, the coach want to help Nick Walker more than me. I don't think that was the case. There must be something else, or maybe I don't know what Quinton did. Maybe Quinton didn't listen to the battle plan. Whatever it was, I don't know. All I know that he looks way better when he's fuller.
Yeah,
By far. I mean, Jon,
My-
what do you think looking at the two different photos?
Oh, I think he looks way better now. My only question is, does he? I mean, he definitely is fuller, but does he have enough muscle to win this contest? And I don't know. After seeing the pictures in the New York Pro, to me, it just looks like he's still got another year or two to go. I don't think he's ready to win a contest yet. I don't think he has enough muscle. From the pictures he was shown before the New York Pro, I thought he was ready to win. But when I saw him on stage next to those other guys, he still looks too lanky. He doesn't look like he has enough muscle to win yet.
But Jon, let me tell you something, and you are aware. For example, Muhammad Makawi back in '82 at the Miss Olympia in Wembley in England. When Makawi came to the show, he was depleted, and he still came in 7th place. He wasn't popping at all. When he went to Sweden for the Grand Prix, he was about 7-8 pounds bigger in a matter of days. And guess what? He looked way sharper.
He won.
So yeah, I mean,
right.
I don't think Quinton is tiny. He was just flat, Jon. And when you eat enough carbs, the right carbs, and load up, each gram of carbs. Let's say you ate 2,000 grams of carbs over the couple of days and rested. You have to multiply these 2,000 grams by 3.4 or 3.5, somewhere around that. And that's the fluid that connects to the carbohydrate that causes the volume in your liver and in your muscle. So this is what makes you pop. But you have to do it because it's a fine line. You have to understand how to load up without messing up the peaking process. And I think Matt Jansen understand that because I've been watching what he's doing. And so whatever, something went wrong. We don't know what it is, but I think he's capable of doing it in the next show in Toronto, Jon. I won't be surprised if he comes in 7-8 pounds fuller and popping. I mean, I'm no different. I was in London 186, and then in Munich I came in 183, and I was bigger, and really it makes a difference. So you got to be somewhat on the big size nowadays. You can't be stringy looking. You cannot win at a stringy body. You got to be full. You got to be popping. Same thing what happened to Makawi back in '82. It happened to me also many times. So you live and learn. I don't think
he's not with Matt Jansen anymore. He's doing it on his own now.
Oh well, but maybe he feels comfortable. Maybe he was doubting certain things. I don't know what went into his head. You got to be comfortable with your coach and be on the same page and not contradict. Don't. It's very hard to say, but all I know, he can be 7-8 pounds fuller, and that will change the whole result from my perspective.
So if he goes up against someone like Akim Williams, do you think he's going to have enough muscle to beat him?
No way.
First of all,
No
you're
way.
always going about size. You always guys thinking size. Okay, but for example,
so do the judges. The judges are going on about size.
But I mean, the judges, come on. Look, when Quinton is full, he's got the outer, let's say it was sweeping his thighs, got diamond calf, small waist, and he flows perfectly. He need to peak properly. And guess what? I would still consider Quinton is very dangerous. He need to re-peak the right way. That's from my experience. So maybe Matt Jensen can listen to this. He probably would agree with me. You cannot go to a show nowadays depleted, like back in the days, be like keto diet and just eat one night before. You got to load up for 3. Sometimes you can eat for 3-4 days to get that maximum fullness. But there is a way to do it. You don't want to, do it the wrong way. So it takes.
But he's not with Matt Jensen anymore, Samir. He's by himself.
Well, maybe he knows what's happening. I mean, look at the photo that you just showed, and if he's not with Matt, he just ate. He probably know his body quite a bit. I mean, I don't. I think with Matt, it would be safer for him with Matt, but he cannot have a doubt in thinking the coach is pushing for Nick Walker, not for me. If he have that doubt, it's no good. You got to be comfortable in the surroundings. You got to be happy. If you start doubting, you start, fucking with your mind. It's no good. Right, Marcus? If you have doubt, that will destroy all your planning.
Yeah.
So you don't think Akim can beat? I mean, Quinton can beat Akim. Marcus.
No. I mean, here, look at it like this. If it's the battle of the beasts, right? We got Beastwood and Akim the Beast Williams. There's Akim's the true beast. I think if you compare Quinton's, if you compare this showing at the Toronto Super Show to the New York Pro, I think it's going to be a big difference. He's going to look incredible. I think he'll place top 4, top 3 here. I think you're going up against some true beasts in someone like an Akim. If Hassan can come in, conditioned well, there's no way that Quinton is taking it. I'm sorry, Samir, I'm going to go completely against the grain with it. There's no way.
I have to take a time out and ask Jon. Jon is going to say something to us right here. Jon, Robbie Robinson is massive. Back in the days when Robbie went on stage, super huge, let's say Robbie is Akim Williams. Frank Zane, who was a lot lighter, but under the light, who stand out more? That's what I'm saying. I mean, for me, no disrespect to Akim, but if you ask me what body would I want, Quinton, for sure. But Quinton has to be the real.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Cannot be. I would take Quinton's body, and if they're both 100%, honestly, I would say Quinton have the edge.
Yeah, I would too. I mean, I like Quinton's body too, but the difference is the gym pictures don't look like the stage pictures. He didn't look as good. He looked good in the gym before New York, but when he got up on stage, he just didn't have the muscle to hang with these guys. And what was he, 7th place?
Because
how much is that going to change? I know he's going to be fuller. I think he's going to look way better. I think he'll probably be top 3 or 4. But is he going to win? I mean, he's going to make that much of a difference in 2 weeks?
Jon, he forgot his muscle at home, Quinton, when he was at that last show. He went on stage without his muscle. The only people who understand this language is, I'm sorry, no disrespect to you. Matt Jensen will understand that. Chris Aceto will understand that. Hardy Romboyd would understand that. Because loading properly does matter. And you have to understand. I have I have gained at times 7, 8 pounds in 2, 3 days. But that's not, it's all your muscle, your reserve. And it will play to your advantage. It will put you on, when your muscle is popping. I mean, look, I saw Big Ramy making that mistake in the past. I see many people make it, and I was one of those people that made that mistake. Makawi did, and Menser did. We all learn from our mistake. But you can store 7, 8, and sometimes more muscle reserve. If you go to the show without your reserve, you're gonna look like flat as a pancake. You're not going to win show the old-fashioned way, just flat and dry. You can't. You got to be full nowadays. And that's why you see these guys massive, because these guys are high carbs competitor. Nobody is going on low carb nowadays. They're eating tons of carb, But I mean, look, Akim, if you go to the lower body, the difference, let's say the circumference of Akim Williams' thighs are bigger than Quinton. But if you look from the waist down, the flow on Quinton's legs is just amazing. I'm telling you, is probably better than my legs, because my balance was my bread and butter. And so the thighs, the way it rhymes with the calves, damn, the guy is very good, man. I'm telling you, if I team up, let's say, with Quinton, I understand exactly what's needed. Now, don't say that just about Quinton. I know I don't want to bring the Samson issue again. Samson have the size, but he doesn't have the clarity enough. But if Akim comes in shredded and Quinton's going to come in flat as a pancake, first Akim is going to beat him. And that's what he did wrong last show. He was not ready. So, anyhow, we'll see. But you want to bet on that, John? You want to bet?
Well, what about let's mention Hassan first. What do you think about Hassan? This is going to be his first show of the year, right? And he had a torn tricep last year. So, what do you think? Here's a recent video of him.
Look, Hassan have a very good body. He's got lots of muscle. He's got pretty balance. But okay, what hurt Hassan a little bit is his middle. Why do I like the body of guys like Quinton or Derek? Why? Because wide shoulders and small waist, the middle is necessary to become, to put you on the map. I mean, Hassan is wonderful. I'm happy for him. But I mean, I think Hassan, when he's ready, is dangerous. I would say Hassan have the advantage as far as, he's been in the game longer and he's got tons of muscle. But I think the future is Quinton definitely going to be the guy. Quinton definitely going to be the guy. I would surround myself with very smart coaches, because with Quinton, by next year, he's going to be deadly dangerous on the Olympia stage.
So I feel,
my opinion.
What do you think, Mark?
I just feel like Samir said something about he left his muscle at home and in Quinton, and I think that it's going to take a year for him to find it. I honestly think that I would even go I love whatever bet is on the line. I want to get in on it, because I truly think that Quinton can be his best. He can come in his best right now, and I not speaking on Hassan, because Hassan there's a caveat there because of the conditioning and things like that, but Akim, I would place Akim above a near 100% Quinton right now and today. I think he can come in looking like his gym photos, and I still have to give it to Akim. I cannot bet against Akim in this situation here. Even though, yeah, I agree with Samir as far as the body. Like Quinton's body is just this. Oh, there's a beauty to it. It's just the flow. The quads are just easily one of the best separated quads. The way the muscle is shaped, it's just beautiful. But I mean, we're going up against the real beast here, and I don't know if actually I don't know, but I have a very strong guess in the direction that he does not have enough muscle to compare to Akim at this show. A year from now, I'd love to see the rematch, and I think Quinton is going to look a lot better than, New York Pro. I think he's going to look a lot better, day and night difference, but I just still do not think it's going to be enough to beat Akim. Now, I think Hassan's a better matchup, but if we're going for size and if Hassan can come in conditioned, I think he's going to be much more comparable to Akim compared to Quinton.
Hassan's a better matchup
Akim.
for who?
I think that just with the mass that they have. So I look at it sometimes like we saw with the Olympia when it came to Hadi and Derek, right? Very different, but similar in the sense of like, the shorter guys came up from 212, more comparable bodybuilders to where you have those people like a Samson or Andrew to where they're just so off-putting compared to them. Meaning if you're looking at the number one guy, so for instance, in this case for me, Akim, I'm going to look at a Hassan and be like, hold on, I kind of want to see them together. They just seem like they're going to be grouped more so than a Quinton, to where at the last show, New York Pro Quinton looked at him.
So where does Quinton fit into that?
Third
then?
or fourth.
Third?
I think Jon Jewett is going to be right there with Quinton. Now, I could be wrong and they could place it in front of Hassan, but just my bet would be first Akim, Hassan, then honestly, I'll say Jon in front of Quinton. Yeah.
Wow.
Now
Okay.
I can change that third and fourth, but I don't know. I think I like how Jon looks, and I think Quinton's going to be third or fourth, and I'm going to say fourth if I had to put a number on it.
What do you think, Samir?
I disagree with Marcus, even though I like Marcus. I disagree because I am always pro overall harmony. Okay, I'm always, and like I said, I don't care who's on stage. I'm gonna say it like it is, and I always will. Not in a derogatory way. I mean, Akim works hard; he's massive, but I look at the overall flow every time, and when you look at the overall flow, and he had plenty of mass when we saw in this photo. A guy like Quinton had to show up with maximum fullness without any body fat. And guess what? He's far better. I'm not going to say a little better. He's far better. But you have to do what I'm thinking, what I visualize. I know what this guy can be. I could picture him peak properly. And guess what? He'll take him all. But let's see if he does that. I know what he needed to do. But he didn't do it last time. Sorry, Marcus, but I agree with you. I know you love muscularity and freakness and density. Of course, that's something needed, but without overall put together physique. Like I don't like the body that's from each three different branches. I want to see everything match. Your forearm to match your bicep, your tricep, the flow, the rib cage, and this is why I'm saying. Quinton, which is, I don't know Quinton. I never saw him in person, but looking at the photo and I judge him, he has a pleasant look and he just needs to do the job right. He needs to do it right. And he didn't do it at all. He didn't do anything right last show. And in fact, he deserved what he didn't place because he didn't do it right. Look at these guys are muscular, yes, but you know what? I always will take the beautiful body into account. Until he do that,
okay,
we'll see. So,
all right. So let's make our predictions then. What do you think, Marcus? Who's first place?
Akim.
All right, I'm writing this down, so we'll go over this next week. Who's second?
Hassan. Scary, but Hassan. I'm gonna say Hassan.
Okay.
And then you got
I'm gonna give it
Jon.
Yeah, and that's where that's third and fourth for me is the toughest pick, honestly, because I want to get on the Quinton train, but I'm gonna say Jon third and Quinton fourth. And then
have you seen Quinton in person, Marcus?
No.
You haven't. I haven't either. Have you seen Akim in person?
Yes.
You have?
Yeah.
And how tall is he?
Like 5.
I haven't seen him in person.
He's like 5'9". He's taller. He's like compared to the other guys, he's a little bit taller than 5'9", maybe even 5'10". But
And Quinton is like 6'1", 6'2"?
Yeah.
About. Well, let's put it this way. It would be hard for me to just say who. Considering everyone 100%, I would say Hassan and Quinton, and Hassan and Quinton and Akim top 3. But considering everyone in top condition, but I think Hassan could win it because Hassan have a lots of muscle on him. He's got a beautiful arm, a beautiful back. Muscle belly is long, and he's put together by God nicely. I would love to see his waist is smaller yet, but considering who's he competing with, he's got better diamond calves than Akim. He's got a size of very full. So I'm not always okay. Yeah, I have the biggest arms, so I'm gonna win. Or I have the biggest shoulders, I'm gonna win. I always look at the package, and the total package for me, what I saw, considering Quinton comes in shape, I would say he's bad to the bone. He need to do the job though. If he didn't do the job, then I don't guarantee a top 3.
So who are you picking at first, Samir?
I say Hassan first, and it could be either way between Quinton and Akim. But I would say if they're both in condition, Akim would be second. He's building his seniority right now. I mean, he's just the new kids on the block. He hasn't competed much. And so it was disappointing that he came in too flat at that last show. And he disappointed you, Jon. And when you said he was probably winning the show, I kind of agree with you. But the thing is, he didn't do what he was supposed to. He didn't do the job right. So let's say...
You got Quinton in second.
I would say
Quinton in second?
I would put Quinton second. Hopefully he's ready.
Okay.
And possibly first
and Akim
if he's 100%. Yeah. Those are my top.
And Akim third? And Akim third?
Yes. According to pictures. I never saw any of these guys live, so.
Yeah, I know. None of us did.
What about you, Jon?
I think Akim's going to win. I'm just basing it. I don't know what he looks like now, but I think if he comes in like he did at the Arnold, where what he take fourth, he looked really. I think that was one of his best conditions ever. If he can look like that, I think he'll win, and I think Hassan will be second, and I think Quinton will be third.
Somebody on
Jon
that
Jewett,
I felt like had a very.
That's about right. Well, let's hope. It's hard to predict. I mean, something you guys forget, like guys, like for example, like Labrada back in the days. You look at Lee Labrada. Oh, he's not big enough, but under the light, he smoked so many big guys out. I mean, you guys have to understand harmony and balance with plenty of muscle. Quinton, without his muscle, I wouldn't even put him in the top whatever. But with his muscle, peaked and popping, boy, this guy is tough, man. Trust me. He'll be tough.
I hope Quinton wins. I hope he comes in bigger, and I hope he wins. But I don't know. I just don't think he's got enough muscle yet.
I hope the best men win. Let's put it this way. And I know the biggest muscle would be Hassan and Akim, but Quinton's not going to be the biggest, but he's going to flow better than both.
I think Quinton's got a way better physique than Hassan or Akim. Way better.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he's close.
Easily, Jon. Thank you, Jon.
I don't even really like, honestly, no offense, but I don't even like Hassan's physique. I think he's too blocky looking.
Well, yeah, that's
ton of muscle. I mean, ton of muscle, but he's not aesthetic at all.
I'm with you, Jon. But if you look at each individual muscle on Hassan, they're pretty. The arm is beautiful. The muscle looks very nice and full. But yes, the middle is blocked. And that's why I say Quinton is bad. I mean, he's bad if he's ready. Otherwise, he won't do it if he's not ready. This is
somebody else who we were looking at before we started was Jang Ming Lee, who I thought he looked really good, and I think he placed 6th or 7th at the Cali Pro. We were talking about him prior, and I think I actually really like his physique. So I would have him be my little dark horse. but I thought he had a really good look at the Cali Pro.
Where did he place in
I
the
believe 7th.
Cali?
I think Tim beat him by a place. I believe Tim got like 6th, where he got 7th.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'd like to see that, and I know there were some pictures of him next to Hassan where he was. I mean, he looked good. I mean, granted, Hassan is covered up, but it's just overall looking at the silhouette again. He has the size, so I'd like to see him do pretty good. I'd place him at least my top 5 kind of thing as a dark horse, but it's going to be interesting.
Can we quickly see some stuff of Hassan recent and new stuff? I want to make sure he's back to where he was. He pulled his Hassan pulled his arm. You said, or what?
Yeah.
That's not a good
He
light.
tore his tricep.
And I think he's back.
Well, it looks like the camera's too far away. I wish it was closer. It's too far away.
Yeah, that's not. We can't see it clearly.
It's hard to tell if he's in shape
He
or
got
not.
like an Android phone or something. That's what I got. I got that issue all the time.
Yeah, if he's not in shape, he'll be 3rd or lower.
He needs to be.
But
in
if he is in shape,
well, how much
got
time
a ton
left? How long ago was that?
I
I
don't
think
know.
it was within a week. I think the last one.
Yeah. He's a big boy. He's really a big guy. I met Hassan.
He's got so
I
much
saw
muscle.
him. He's got tons of muscle, and his muscle looked pretty. I just want to see the middle a little bit leaner in the middle, And that's
He's not the most aesthetic guy. He's got to be hard as a rock to look good. If he's even a little off, his aesthetics kill him.
Yeah,
I feel like he's somebody.
Pretty looking. You see, look at the middle right here, and while he's posing, look at the middle of it as his, So his waist need to be slightly, another inch or so, inch and a half smaller, to flow better. That's what. How long ago was that? A couple years ago.
This was 2021. This was the one that was in Tampa, the New York Pro that was in Tampa.
Oh, is it? Where did he place there?
I don't remember. I know he was probably like top 5 or 6 because I
can't remember he was in it.
Yeah, he's lots of muscle. Seemed like he was.
He got 3rd, right? I guess. Yeah, because Nick got 1st, Justin 2nd, so he got 3rd there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like for somebody coming into bodybuilding who didn't know bodybuilding at all and just saw it as like, I guess more so current bodybuilding, right? Not like the classic physiques that we're speaking on, like with Quinton, but like I feel like somebody coming in just looking at it for like the freak show, that that kind of thing, they would look at a Hassan and be like, how is he not winning everything? Because he just has those slabs of muscle on him. But I think it is, I agree with Samir too on this one, as far as like, he does have, it is like this when you look at them individually. I actually think you put it really like just well said, as far as you look at each muscle individually, it's like they're beautiful, the arms, the chest, but coming all together, totally. I think the waist goes off a little bit.
You could see, look at his arm, look at his size. He's got beef. He's got pure beef. When he's ripped, he's still going to look good. Again, his middle is an issue. And that's going to haunt him for a while. So to be on the Olympia stage, look, the reason why Derek won the Olympia, Derek has a good V, shoulder to waist ratio is amazing. So that's something we're probably going to talk about in a bit. But Hassan, lots of muscle. He needs to be shredded in order for him to make the winner's circle, honestly.
Yeah.
Because a blocky body always will suffer, in my opinion, unless the body is shredded.
He's one of those people who could take a big leap down. Like if I had him, you could have him as high as 1st or 2nd, 3rd, and then he could also be like 4th, 5th, 6th kind of thing, depending. Maybe not that low, but could be 4th, 5th kind of thing.
So, Jon, what do you think of Hassan? You just said it. His body is blocky, in your opinion, right?
Yeah.
Blocky.
Yeah.
Can we compare him to former like Ron Tufel kind of?
Yeah, but he's got a lot more muscle than Ron Tufel.
Yeah, true.
But Ron Tufel had those rock hard abs though.
Oh, Rock, it's extremely shredded abs, super hard.
Yeah. Hassan, like you said, Hassan's kind of weakness is his stomach,
His middle, yeah, his middle hurts him.
Yeah, his middle. All right. All right. Well, we'll see what happens this weekend because it's this Saturday. So we'll talk about that next week on the show. Next, I want to talk about a YouTube video that was on Olympia TV. It was between Nick Walker, Samson, and Derek Lunsford. So what could be possibly the top three in the Olympia this year. They got them all together for a workout in, looks like Arizona, where the Olympia headquarters is, because that's where Jake Wood is. And they did something like this right after the Arnold. They had the top classic guys. They had Bumstead. Who was the guy that won? Wesley. And then they had Urs and Ramon Dino. Yeah. They had all four of them.
Yeah, I remember they did that a while back. Yeah.
So this looks like the same kind of thing.
What do we have to say about that, John?
About these guys?
They still have a way to go for the Olympia. How much time left?
Like 5 months, I think, right?
That's like
June,
lifetime.
July, August,
He's like
September,
19
October.
weeks out or something like that, I think.
So it looked like out of all of them, Nick looked the best in shape, and he was taking his shirt off.
Yeah, I
working
think
out.
that starting out there was like this.
Mm-hmm.
It was it was cool. I don't. These are really fun. Like I think these are really fun. And this was literally like you took the classic physique. If you saw that one, the Battle Olympia, and you just intensify it, and just put the dial up like 10 is what this one was. There was a lot of back and forth, little banter between Nick and Derek was trying to get his little words in. It was cool to see, honestly. Like it was. He was just talking mess. He was just trying to get his they were going back and forth talking about, is that all the weight you're doing? It's kind of little things trying to get in the head. So almost like some competitive fun. But Nick's demeanor there was an intensity there that when you're looking at it, because one of the things they started out in the beginning was it was like, all right, we're as far as time under tension, the controlling the weight and just really connecting with the muscles. And so they had Chris there, being there pretty much trainer for this one. And it was just, Nick was definitely the show out for this. I mean, there was Samson came out very stoic. Like that was his, he did everything correct. There was a moment where they were all pretty much, they were mic'd up the whole time. And I don't think they realized it. So there was
You were there?
No,
Marcus?
no, I watched the video.
Were you there, Marcus?
Yeah, it helped me get through some long cardio. It's like an hour and 25 minutes long, and it was live. So I was like, yeah, this is the best time to get some cardio in. So I literally watched it all, and it was good. Like they were mic'd up the whole time, so you got to hear some of the background. I think you even heard someone take a pee. I don't think they didn't take off their mic.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a moment caught to where Derek was talking to Tarek or whatever in the back, saying that he thought it'd be better for marketing purposes for him not to take off his shirt, and that they're battling for the third spot, and I'm the and they were pretty much you got to do it, and he was okay for y'all have done a lot for me, so I'll do it. And he came out, took his shirt off, and then he put it right back on after they were posing. And of course, Samson saw it. You'll see it here. Samson saw it and took his shirt off too. And then of course, Nick and Samson kept their shirt off the rest of the time, to where Derek kind of put his back on. And I think even some of the Olympia guys like Chris kind of called it out as far as the old school, we didn't do that. Once you take the shirt off, you don't put it back on. So there was a lot going on. Honestly, you could take a lot from this one.
So this video was over an hour and a half
minutes, and it was live. So yeah.
Oh, it was live.
You really got to see and hear a lot of just like I said, I don't think they realized they were mic'd up. So there's a moment to where Derek is pretty much talking with them, behind the scenes, and you get to hear it all. So it's pretty interesting. I mean, I felt like at this point he shouldn't, as you see right here, he's gearing up to put his shirt right back on, and then it definitely came out. I think anybody in the room who was there, from what you could tell, you can kind of tell that Nick kind of took it as far as like the intensity, the just his form was really good. It was really honestly really good. You could, and granted, it helps that he's like a week out from a show, so you just see everything. But he definitely, and of course Samson too. He did great. Like they all did great. Don't get me wrong, but I just feel like Derek was a little. I think he was trying to fit in the sense of the mouthpiece, the talking, back and forth, and he did good. And I think if you're a fan of Derek, you'd be happy with how it looked. But it just the whole shirt situation. I'm shocked that more news bodybuilding channels didn't cover that part because it was pretty interesting to hear it all unfold.
Yeah. Who do you think looks better, Samir? Derek or Nick or Samson?
Right now, I'm looking. Whatever Nick is doing, his muscle hardness is the way I want to look like. I think Nick Walker right there. I mean, if we're going to judge muscle quality right now, I mean, Nick by landslide harder than both. I mean, now we know that Derek is unbelievable. He's made tons of progress. And his legs, we said last week or whatever when we last time talked, his leg got improved. I don't think Derek is going to have an issue when he do his work and peak. I think I said it before. I put my money on Derek to take it all, but Derek has to be also ready. I mean, the physique of Derek is like, dude, it's like literally untouchable when he's ready. Now, right here, I'm looking Nick Walker, whatever he's doing, and I said it a million times already, that him and Matt, his coach, are doing the right thing. Of course, Derek looked massive, but of course, who cares how ripped they are right at this minute? But Derek looks good. I mean, it's the race is not tomorrow. The real race is in 5 months. But based on what I see here, Nick's quality is excellent. I think Samson, who I think extremely dangerous, he's a little bit off, but that's off season. And Derek,
what was Derek saying there, Marcus?
Say it again. What was there in that moment? I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what he was saying in this moment. Oh, okay, no, I do remember. So once this is kind of within a minute or two, whenever they took their shirts off, and then I don't know if it is before this or after this that Derek takes his off, but I know that Samson at this point, who was being very just stoic the whole time, this is where he sort of started to talk towards Derek as far as, well, you put your shirt back on. What are you doing? Come on, why'd you So they started to give him kind of give him some slack for putting his shirt back on, and then for the rest of the video they kept theirs on. So I think that was like the back and forth in that.
What
moment.
Did he say?
He didn't really say anything back. He pretty much said that y'all are battling for third. That's like what y'all are battling for third. That's what y'all are doing right now. Y'all are supposed to do this. You're battling for third. So
what did they say to that?
I think that Nick had something very Nick said, I can't believe I remember all this. It's testing my brain. Nick said something to the extent of like, if we're going off the way we trained today, you are clearly not winning Olympia this year. Like yeah.
Whoa, no shit.
He threw a dagger, and like I said, it's sadly when you look at like I don't know
who said that. Who said that to
Nick?
Who said that to Nick?
Yeah, Nick said it to Derek. Like pretty much going off the way you train today, you're not gonna win Olympia this coming year. Like you're not the Olympia champ.
So
yeah, it was.
Hopefully, he was joking when he's saying it.
I think
that's like kicking the face.
I think that there were definitely there was some truth behind these words. I think they were joking, but in this case, I think they were there was a lot of back and forth, and you could tell they were having fun too early on. But then I think that just there was some angst with certain situations, and I think in that one in particular there was you felt it. I think the room felt it. So yeah.
Wow.
And I can't believe those.
It seems like he'd be the more aggressive.
Every time I look at Samson, bro, I'm going like, what the hell? In 5 months, he should be shredded beyond shredded. And guess what? He could be the guy to win.
You think?
I mean, I
You
don't.
think Samson? You think Samson will beat Derek, Samir?
If he gets shredded to the bone, then I'm not gonna bet. But right now, looking at the body, I think Derek is like
Crazy.
Perhaps.
he's super massive. He flows very well, and he's maintaining good midsection, good middle. Maybe his abs are not ripped now, but I mean, he's keeping the V. I would say Derek is gonna shock the world again, but he's gonna look 5 times better than he did last year.
You don't think Derek should have won last year, right, Samir?
No, I think Derek wasn't ready 100% last year. But you
Yeah,
haven't
I don't
seen,
either.
you guys,
I don't think he should have won
you
last year.
guys haven't seen Derek. When Derek comes in shredded, you're gonna know what I'm talking about. When Derek shredded to the bone, let's put it this way: from my perspective, he's untouchable. And so last year, in all honesty, I'm not gonna just blah blah blah. No disrespect. Hadi Chopin is my friend. I like Derek. I've been talking to Derek forever. I'm telling him, Derek, you could do it all. He did. But honestly, last year, I thought Hadi could have won it last year. Seriously.
I wonder why Derek didn't keep his shirt off.
Yeah, I didn't understand that either.
He doesn't want to show his body right now. So
yeah, but it makes him look like he's insecure. I mean, they're 5 months out. Who cares?
Especially what he just did to Pittsburgh.
yeah, I agree.
He doesn't look bad. He doesn't look tall. He doesn't
matter,
look
right?
fat.
But look at Nick Walker.
That's what I'm
quality
saying.
is
What's
amazing. But Derek is back, bro. His V is amazing. I think he did a lot of hard work.
It kind of makes him like he's intimidated if he took it off and put it right back on.
The worst part was that I understand hearing the behind the scenes.
Well,
as far as like him saying to them, hey, we just did this at the Pittsburgh Pro. And, obviously us, covering the Pittsburgh Pro, Derek was one of the most impressive ones, looking back at it, he was, clearly one of the most impressive. So he pretty much said to them, like, from a marketing perspective, it doesn't make the most sense to me to do it. But so then he said, okay, I'll do it for you. Taking off his shirt. I agree, John, like to where he should have kept it off because him putting it back on so quickly, it looks away.
I would either just not taken it off at all, or I would have just kept it off.
Bumstead did it at the classic Battle Olympia. He didn't take his shirt off at all, and
he took it off.
Yeah,
well, he didn't. Yeah, he didn't take it. Well, he wasn't. He was the only one of those guys not in the show,
completely off season.
And Nick just competed, so of course he's going to be harder than those guys.
But as you were saying, I feel like
I just found out that. Anyway, I want Nick Walker to develop a habit. It doesn't matter where he is, to keep flexing his stomach. It's a habit. He should make a habit of it because he's got a great body. He's the hardest, but you should never let your stomach go. I don't care if you had 10,000 calories before. You want to keep that stomach tight. Okay, and so this is something that we learned back in the days. Frank Zane, he never let his stomach relax, flex it. Labrada did the same thing. And so I want Nick Walker there are some things that will help Nick with his presentation, and he need to something to do in his legs. He could do that. It actually can push him another spot forward. I mean, Samson, he hasn't been shredded to the bone yet. He's been cut. He's been beautiful, good body. And now I just got a message. Someone told me, I think Scott told me that Samson is with the Camel Crew. He's somewhere, and was in Kuwait, right? Is he in Kuwait, John? Or
right? I knew he was with the Camel Crew. Yeah, announced that like a month ago.
You think that a good decision to go there?
I don't know. They usually focus on size, and he's got size. He just needs to come in hard. But didn't he kind of like get off the gear a little bit? Wasn't he like he wasn't really at his biggest at that guest posing, right? I think he leaned out a little bit for a while. Now
I think he was like a month or so off completely.
The thing is, when we all train here at Tamaka Bodybuilding, we live bodybuilding. I live bodybuilding every day since 1978. I mean, you come here, people around here, they have so much more experience. I think the Camel Crew in Kuwait, they're not exposed to the true hardcore bodybuilding enough. I know they're working hard and they're trying. And so, if you want to fight the war with size, I think that's the wrong thing to do, because we know, I know big Rami was in Kuwait, and I mean he got super massive there, yes, but Rami didn't win it when he was in Kuwait, and I recall that by the board I was upset with Rami saying that he didn't follow 100% the Pekin plan. So Rami connected with who was helping Rami? It was who's helping him in the United States? Was it
Nichols, Chris Aceto?
No, Chris Aceto helped him, and he came in really, really good. But his work didn't pay off in Kuwait. Although you have more luxury, they take care of you, you could train hard. But to peak in process, you need to be with experience. I'd rather see Big Ramy, for example, was a guy like Tom Platz, or was a guy like Frank Zane, okay? Or was someone that been there, done that several times. I think Dennis James and the diet doctor, what's his name?
Chad Nichols.
Chad, yeah. I think Chad in I think Chad, he understands bodybuilding, and they helped him peak properly, and that's why he won the Olympia. And that didn't happen in Kuwait. That's why I'm saying Samson is in Kuwait. Is that going to be plus or minus? Samson, he doesn't need size. Samson needs to be etched to the bone. He needs to be etched to the bone if he wants to be Mr. Olympia. There's no other way around it.
So going back to that video, Marcus, who do you think came out looking like the strongest out of those three?
Yeah,
you watched
so
the
they
whole
were
video.
all really on par with as far as reps and sets, same weight, all that. But who came?
Yeah. But I mean, just like psychologically, like strongest.
So
who do you think was?
100% Nick. Just as
Nick?
far as
Yeah.
there's something to be said about his just the range of motion and just really squeezing, like the extra umph to where Derek, I know he came in, he would, this is all the way, a little talking, but even his range of motion was a little bit, it wasn't as good as, say, a Samson and especially Nick. I think that nobody can watch that video and critique Nick's form on anything. It was just 100%, truly like 100%. And I'm not just like, it was, he definitely.
Who do you think's physique looked the best?
Nick, just because of where he was as far as showing. I think that, now granted, I think that Samson was very impressive just because he was off gear for however long at this point, and is so far out and things of that nature. So I thought just standing there, Samson looked really impressive, and that's saying, and they all looked impressive. I mean, we saw them a couple weeks back at Pittsburgh Pro, but they all looked good in their own right. But just standing there, I thought that Samson looked really good. But it's Nick had the edge just because he just had a show. So that pop was there. He had Nick, that crazy look to him just because he was.
From what
about his stomach?
Honestly, it wasn't bad. There was a part in the video where he was grabbing the cables to where you did see it, a little bit, but beyond that, it didn't look bad throughout the video. Honestly, he kept pretty good control of it throughout just everything, and he had his shirt off for a good, I would say almost 20 to 30 minutes of the workout, so something to be said for that.
I think it's interesting just as a psychological thing. I mean, you're 5 months out, you got 3 top contenders, and just to see how they interact, see who the alpha dog is, who acts like, the most aggressive. Or do you think Derek, being the reigning Mr. Olympia, do you think he came off like that, or do you think he came off like putting the shirt back on and stuff?
The worst. If I was him, I would have kept the shirt on. I would have stuck to my guns. I would have kept the shirt on. if I'm gonna put it right back on, I was telling my girl, I said that to me what it was, if we're playing, this is weird to place it, but if we're placing it right, the way we're looking at it, Nick came out on top. Nick won. Derek lost, and I don't think Samson took a loss. I don't think he took a loss because he came out. Yeah, exactly. There was just something to be said. He didn't make noises. Nick was making. Nick and Derek were both. Come on, all that, to where you did not hear that from Samson, not a peep.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people will appreciate that. So I think there's people who will watch it and really appreciate the way Samson came across. And then there's going to be people who, like, there was one part where he was doing, I want to say, cable flies Nick, and he's kind of screaming towards to Chris, 2 more, 1 more, and come on Chris, and you just hear it in the voice. You can clearly see that when he has done the set, he's like about to black out, which every set was almost a failure, it seemed like. And I just with Nick, and Nick? I just felt like Nick? And that would be my mentality a little bit. Probably a lot of us who bodybuild or work on our our craft so much would probably feel the same way. It's just you could tell there was just, I think he would have tore something. Like, even though I'm complimenting his his form and everything, but just he was going to utter failure. And I was just like, oh my God, hopefully, I don't want to see nothing like that. And of course, with Sam's machine breaking, like, geez, I couldn't imagine if something really badly happened to him, off the machine breaking. But
when you saw when they did that with the classic guys, who do you think came out ahead there?
Oh man, that was tough.
You could pick one guy that stood out of all those guys.
Wait, honestly, I want to say,
but this is out on stage. It don't matter.
It's like psychologically, I'm just saying, who do you guys like that all together and they're all working out? Who stood out?
John.
I thought it was Wesley.
I was gonna say Wesley Wesley to me was the Samson. The way that Samson came across to me in this one is sort of how Wesley came across to me. Just like, so if you like that, there's this silent killer confidence.
I thought Wesley's wearing that tank top, and I mean, I'm not talking about the weights they lifted, but man, I was so impressed with how he looked. His belts were shredded, his back. I think if you had to say like who's the winner out of that, I would say Wesley. This one, it looked like Nick came out across the strongest,
Yeah, definitely. I couldn't agree more with that one. And the delts in the back, from the back, there was one part where it was insane looking. Like, I remember one part, it doesn't look real.
The muscle quality.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, his quality was
the muscle quality on Nick. The muscle quality on Nick looks so much clearer and harder. It looks a lot harder. But then again, you know what? If you ask me,
the mistake for Derek to do it?
No, it's not. Who cares? It was, John, remember back in the days, I was doing a seminar in Warrenton, Pennsylvania, and Ron Tufel came in shape, and I was not. I was in okay shape. He challenged me in front of people in the seminar. He took his shirt, and I said, let's do it. So, it probably was a little bit harder, but who cares? The race is not that day. So, I mean, come on. Derek, I don't think Derek will treat this as minor distraction. It's not going to affect he's training hard. And Derek knows he have all the weapon. So even though Nick looked the best that day, I don't think, it's going to play in his psyche that, he's going to be ahead of me in Olympia. I mean, it's fun time. It's a fun time hanging out and doing these things.
I know. It doesn't mean anything. I was just wondering what you guys thought.
No. Yeah, it's nothing for now. I mean, for all I know.
It's far enough away. It's not going to make anything by the time the Olympics.
I feel like the best thing about it, leading it off, was they were all rooting for each other, especially Nick and Derek. They were both, during their sets, they were rooting them on. They were trying to push them and things like that. So they brought the competitive nature.
Do you think it would have been more fun if they would have been a little bit more not
honestly,
rooting
they
for
had
each
enough of there was like, even though they were kind of trying to motivate them, there was so much back and forth that there was enough of both. There was clearly enough of both. There was a lot of little.
You think the rivalries are more fun when they really don't like each other?
Yeah, but as long as it doesn't get messy.
No.
As long as it doesn't get messy.
You remember like Sergio and Arnold? Like they really hated each other. It seemed like for a while.
No.
You know? And that was like fun, I thought. I mean, they respected each other later on, but I think when it was going on, I don't think they liked each other.
Yeah, Arnold was desperate. He wanted to beat Sergio, remember? And then in Essen, I gotta put something on my Instagram about Arnold and Sergio. I mean, Sergio is unbelievable genetic, and Sergio, like talking about Sergio, is more like Samson. He hasn't been really beyond shredded. He looked hard,
but Arnold was tricking Sergio in order to beat him.
As far as I'm concerned, as far as Arnold said that he thought Sergio was beyond scary in Essen, and he thought he was going to win. He walked backstage and looked at Sergio.
But I'm talking about like just before that when Arnold beat him for the first time.
When was the first time? Was it in Essen?
No, in 1970.
He made it in New York, I think. The show was somewhere in New York, wasn't it?
Yeah. Did you ever hear that story, Marcus?
Did he tell him that he needed to come in more like a certain way or something? Like he had.
Yeah. So what happened was like Sergio beat Arnold in 69. And then in 70, they were going to go in the Olympia again. And but they went into a Mr. World contest 2 weeks before the Olympia. And Arnold beat him. And Sergio didn't know Arnold was going to be there. So then back then they all used to go out to eat together. So they were all friends. So they all go out to the same restaurant and they'd all be eating. So Sergio told Arnold, he goes, "I can't believe you beat me." And Arnold said, "Sergio, if you would have been a little bit bigger," he goes, "I wouldn't have been able to touch you." So then 2 weeks later, Sergio gets bigger and he gets smoother. And then Arnold beats him 2 weeks later.
God, that's.
And then when they were on stage at the Olympia and they're posing, they had like, back then the pose downs weren't as structured as they are now. It was like kind of something new. They didn't really it wasn't planned. So they're just posing down in front of the audience, Sergio and Arnold. And then the crowd's going crazy and Arnold does a back shot and he turns around to Sergio and he goes, "Man, I'm tired. You want to get out of here?" And Sergio goes, "Yeah, let's go." So Sergio walks off the stage and everybody starts booing and Arnold stays on stage. He's like, "Where are you going? Come back."
Yeah, I get why Sergio would have some disdain in his heart just for a little bit.
Right.
I think Sergio has
it's cool. It's cool that they're all friends and everything, but I don't know. It'd be kind of fun if they really didn't like each other,
Arnold couldn't even believe he beat Sergio in Essen. He couldn't believe it. That's his own word to me.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
You know what's funny? Boyoko told me that he saw Sergio eating a hot dog the night before.
Yeah.
Maybe he needed to sodium load, but did you hear that too? And the thing
Sergio
is,
never died.
Why he was relaxed and not worry about it. Now everybody's looking at himself every second and worrying. Sergio was worry free, no cortisol. Eat hot dog, I'm still okay. I've been training my ass off. Sergio's unbelievable, man.
I heard the story about.
But what?
I heard the story. This guy was in the Mr. America one year, and they had the weights back there. They had like a bench and weights and everything. So they were all just sitting backstage waiting to pump up. And Arnold comes back there with Ken Waller. And so this guy knew Ken Waller. And he's like, "Oh, man," he goes, "Arnold's here." And he goes, "Oh, you want to meet him?" He goes, Yeah, I'd love to meet him. So Arnold comes over and he meets the guy and stuff. So then they had a bench, and Arnold's got his street clothes on, So Arnold puts 3 plates on, 315, and he just starts doing some reps, just screwing around, So then Sergio comes in, and Sergio sees Arnold doing it. Sergio puts on 4 plates and does it like 10 times.
I couldn't imagine what it would be like if we had the same ability with camera footage back when, now, just just the draw. I feel it would be great. Another level.
John, just think about it. No GH, nothing whatsoever. Only D-ball, okay? And he was beyond massive.
Right. D-ball.
And he has a perfect body. I mean, his forearms, brachialis, everything there. Huge. This is why I don't understand why these guys complicate things too much. It's complicated now. And, Sergio lived to what, 80? 80 some.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe a little bit more. And I think because of the gun shot, that actually affected him quite a bit. But I think it affected. These guys took D-ball and they got huge and they developed a great body. They didn't have a stomach. Look at that. Bill Pearl, I'm pretty sure Bill also used something in that nature. And he lived to 92 years old, died by an accident.
Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, that's why I keep dwelling on that topic, because I really find it crazy that what these guys taking, they're getting bigger, but are they getting better? I don't think they're getting better, John. They're bigger, but not better. They're not. The body is not as pretty, And,
hey, Samir, I was looking at. I got some old magazines, and I forgot that you won the 1990 Pittsburgh Pro.
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah, I forgot about that. You always talk about the 83 Olympia, the 85 Waba.
You always forget about my victory, John. Come on.
I was looking at the magazine. I'm like, I forgot Samir won this.
You know why I won? Because it was Jim Manion's show, and Wayne DeMilia wasn't there.
Okay.
Wayne DeMilia wasn't there, so I'm more relieved because this guy's there for a reason.
You beat Mike Ashley, who just won the Arnold a couple months ago, and then you beat Gary Strider. You beat all those guys,
And John, how do you think Mike Ashley did it all natural? Do you believe that he did it all natural?
I don't know. I mean, he didn't win.
He sent me a message yesterday because I put a post about Mike Ashley, and he said, I didn't take any roid. And honestly, Mike is pretty smart about his nutrition. He understands how not to overtrain. And he said he will give anybody $10,000 and he's ready to do any test that he's clean.
Yeah.
And I believe him. I believe you can develop an incredible body naturally. But, when it comes to Mr. Olympia and doing nowadays, you got to get something. You got to be on the sauce somewhat. And without the craziness and the madness, which is some of the kids believe that you have to kill yourself to win.
He was very full and hard for being natural. But if he was, man, he looked amazing.
I honestly believe him.
Yeah.
But he might have done something to enhance his testosterone production. He understood that how to eat and how to keep his testosterone naturally up. When your testosterone is up naturally, that means you can build muscle. But are you going to win Mr. Olympia like that? I doubt it. And I'm being honest, nobody's going to win the Olympia 100%. That's not possible.
Well, I talked to him when he was in his 60s because I did an interview with him, and he said his testosterone naturally is still 800.
Damn. Yeah,
even if he's in his 60s.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So he's just got naturally.
That's a good sign for his word, then, honestly.
When you're eating, listen, when you're eating high fat or professionally planned diet where, you're eating the right fat is converted to testosterone in your body, okay, to cholesterol. And then, if you go on low fat diet, your testosterone will suffer. You will be terrible. So don't ignore the fact that the diet should always have at least 15-20% fat, especially if you're natural. You know. It's amazing that he reached that level naturally. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is. It is amazing. Yeah, but he wasn't a big guy. I think he weighed 190 at the most. So it wasn't like he was 230.
190, but he used to get shredded at 190.
Oh, shredded. Yeah, he was great bodybuilder. I saw him compete several times.
And very nice guy too.
Super nice guy, yeah.
I mean, that's why I tell these guys, you don't need to. More is less, not necessarily better. I'm helping the kids right now who's only taking, honestly, I'm going to say it like that, Anavar and Primabol, and he's 270 right now. Just a little bit of Anavar and Primabol. I mean, he wants you. I gave him advice not to do ABC. But on a small amount, imagine, the guy's the guy's almost 19 and a change, almost 20. He went up from, let's say, somewhere around 225 to 270, John, in a matter of 4 months. But he's been eating right, and anyhow. So the bottom line is really look at Victor Richard. Victor Richard wasn't an abuser, but everybody said Victor. He was over 300 pounds. You only took like D-ball and that
great genetics,
stuff like that. Great genetic, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, the world of bodybuilding needs to be
we'll
up a little bit.
And, we'll watch the Toronto Pro this weekend, and then we'll report on it next week. When's the next pro show after this?
M-Pro? One of the European, one of them.
Okay.
I haven't.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So Akim is gonna win, right? Akim is gonna win, right, Marcus?
That's the side I'm going on. I'm definitely saying Akim.
Okay.
I'm picking Akim too.
And you put Quinton out of the top 3, right?
I did. But it was hard. I had him third, but I have him fourth. Realistically, I put Jon Jewett in front of him.
You are going against 2 guys that have been there, done that forever. Come on.
Hey, I'm gonna come back, and it's gonna be the opposite of the way.
It's okay.
It's gonna be the opposite of the way that John Hansen took it, because John came back after saying Quinton was gonna win, and I was like, "Yo, the way he did that was smooth, man." So I'm about to come back and eat my words. Maybe.
It's very hard to predict at time until they get up on stage, and when they are ready, it's a different ball game. When you're not ready, you're not gonna.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know what they look like. We're just guessing.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, guys. Well, Samir, keep it old school, and we'll see you guys next week.
We keeping it old school. That's the only way to go. This is the real bodybuilding. It's old school, guys. Right, Marcus? You got to keep it old school.
100%.